Hi, my name is Patrick Johnson. I teach Alexander technique at Smart Body Studio. I also coach people on their running form using principles of the Alexander technique. And I'm putting this video online. It's my son Owen and his friend Elijah running in slow motion in Vondel Park in Amsterdam. They both show great running form, and there's so many things to say about it, and I'm just going to say a few here. Number one is notice how similar their running form is. So if you look at their legs particularly, and the lean of their torso, the balance of their head, they're stride for stride, almost in perfect unison. I find this interesting because if you look at grown-ups in the park running and you think about the way they run, every grown-up has their own sort of idiosyncratic style, while kids run very similarly. So this suggests to me that there's something kind of fundamental about the way kids run that grown-ups have forgotten. I'm just going to point out a couple of specific things about the way they run. Number one is the way that their knees stay bent and mobile through the entire stride. So they never reach their foot way out and lock their leg in a straightforward landing. And if you look at a lot of amateur adult runners, they kind of stretch their leg out, land with the heel way out in front. And these guys keep a nice bent knee even when they land. So that's something you can play with. The next thing I want to talk about is where their foot hits the ground. So I've taken a snapshot here. This is approximately when Owen's foot has just come down. That's the boy in the purple shirt. Elijah's is just a little bit later. And you see the foot comes right down under the body. So he's not reaching out way in front with the heel, but he's letting the foot fall a little bit in front of his center of mass. This is what great runners do. It's not what most people do, and it's really fun to play with when you're running. So you can have a look for yourself in the slow motion and see if you see how the foot just sweeps the ground right under the body as it comes down onto the grass. I'll just throw out a couple more things to think about while you're watching. The shoulders and the elbows in particular are coming back with each stride. So the front of the shoulder opens up and the elbow comes back in space. The torso is nice and long and straight and stable. So they don't collapse when the foot hits the ground, and yet the whole torso slightly leans forward. The head, their face, is looking forward, out into the world. They're having fun. I mean, these guys are just playing around. I didn't tell them to run with good form. I just tell them, to go run around the park, and I took this video. The head forward is really interesting to notice when you're out running, because it's amazing how often you'll catch yourself just sort of lost in thought staring at the ground. If you get that head up and forward, looking out into the world, it makes a heck of a lot of difference for your running. That's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed it. Try out a few of these tips when you're out running, and watch kids run as much as you can, and enjoy.